and be glad in it. I think that's overwhelmingly important for us to recognize, to understand, and to embrace that if God has given you another day, if He has provided for you everything that you stand in need of, and then some, this is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it, even if you really can't find anything to be glad about, because finding something to be happy about is a choice. And I know somebody might say, "Oh, I don't know about all of that." Well, I hate to disagree with you, because I am a firm believer in choices. I am a firm believer that we serve a God who gives us choices. We can choose to be happy. We can choose to be sad. We can choose to be up. We can choose to be down. We can choose to be mean. We can choose to be happy. And yes, many times circumstances and situations play a role in that. But sometimes, excuse me, in the midst of whatever is going on, we kind of make some decisions ourselves that misery is our best company keeper, and the devil is a liar. And so I am grateful to God for each and every one of you who are coming on board. You got to give me a second here as I begin to get all of this good stuff lined up so we can go from there. And of course, it's acting foolish, so I'm going to get rid of that page. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to do what I need to do in order for us to bring all of our pages up, and that way we are rolling. And I'm excited about what God is doing in and through us and for us. For He is our strength, He is our joy, He's our keeper, He is our all in all, and our everything. I've got one more page to bring up, and then I'll start shouting at y'all. I just want to get this going and get this rolling and go from there, and we should be in good shape. We should be doing well. And of course, my machine is doing what I expect it to do, and that is to be slow. I don't know why, but we're grateful. It didn't have to be what it is. It could have been worse. We could have been going through all kinds of ups and downs and trials and all kind of madness in our lives, but yet still God has kept us. And I am so excited that we serve a God who keeps. I'm about ready to preach on that one, but I'm going to leave that alone. Good to see those of you who are coming on board to share with us. I'm just going to move a couple of things around here, and then I will be ready to roll. Minister Marcia, good to see you. Lisa, Carolyn, Denise, Shirley, Sabrina, Christine, Cecile, good to see you. Linda, Debbie, Keisha, good to have you. Raymond and Vernice, good to have you on board with us tonight. And it's a good night. Let me go over here and see. Wendy, good to have you with us. Lisa, Barbara, Jaleesa. What's up, David? How you doing, man? That's my brother, and I'm grateful to God that he's on with us tonight. Mary, Gladys, Sherry, how are you? Myrna, Linda, we got several Lindas and several other people, and we're going to begin in just a couple of minutes. Michelle, good to have you with us this evening. Make sure that you share. That is important. We need you to share so that we can get this word out to as many people as we possibly can. That is overwhelmingly important. You have a sphere of relationships and people who are near and dear to you, and you should want to make sure that they get that word Sister Thomas, how are you, Deacon Thomas? I pray all is well with the two of you. Pastor Lane, good to have you with us on this evening. I'm going to get started in 1 minute, so please share, please share. Carletta, how are you this evening? And good to see those of you who are with us on tonight. Ethel, are you all right? We're glad that all is well with many of you. And thank you so much, Lavernon, for letting us know that YouTube is up and running. And we want to welcome those of you who are on YouTube. We want to welcome those of you who are on our church's website. Welcome to this evening. Okay. Daryl, good to have you with us on this evening. Angela, good. David, they saying hi to you. Okay. They thought there was only one. He is the great Reverend Dr. David Harrison. He got it going on. He down there in Florida and doing what the Lord would have him to do, and we're just grateful to God for him. Antoinette, good to have you with us. If someone is on the website, could you please be kind enough to let me know that we are up and running? Hey, niece, Gwen, I see you coming on board. Minister Sarah, Pat, Axel, how are you this evening? Janet, good to have you with us. Billy, praying all is well with you and your family and the grandbaby. Welcome to the club, okay? Welcome to the club. Now, let me go ahead and get started here. I wanted to share this with you so that we could get into our lesson. I'm not going to keep you. You know what I say. I'm not going to keep you long, but I'm going to keep you long enough. Make sure you share. Make sure you share as you come on board. Make sure that you share so that we can bring as many people on board as we possibly can. Thea, good to see you this evening. Thank you, Nisi, for letting us know that the website is running, and we welcome all of you. Again, I'm working on making sure that I one day will be able to see all of our pages that are up and running, and we will be able to share with you in that avenue. So I'm doing one more thing so that I can get rid of one more thing that's on here. So just give me a second, and I'm going to remove something so that I can move this over, and then we will be ready to roll this evening. Okay, so please ma'am, please sir, make sure that you share on tonight, and we go from there. Tonight may be a little interesting. We'll see how things go and how receptive we might be to the things that we're going to discuss on tonight. Now, I want us to think about this. I want us to think about this for just a moment and to give our attention. Leroy, how are you this evening? Good to have you with us. Have you ever noticed that sometimes life has a way of doing things or bringing things or allowing things to take place that you did not expect? And many of the things that happen, many of the things that take place in our lives have a lot to do with people's influence, people's participation, people's, how I want to say this, proclivities, people's mannerisms, people's way of thinking. And you also have to remember that many people operate within the realm of their own understanding, even if that understanding is limited, and then it can cause the recipients of those who, Valerie, come in contact with them, interact with them, raised by them, influenced by them, can alter your life in such a way that it can destroy your aspirations. And I'm not saying that everyone who has come into our lives, I'm not saying that everybody who comes our way has intentional destructive behavior. Now, I need us to get that. Dr. Baber, I need us to get this. I do not believe that every negative person, Nancy, that comes into our lives are intentionally seeking to destroy us, are intentionally seeking to bring us down, are intentionally seeking ways in which they can hurt you. That's not what I'm saying at all. Here's what I am saying, Paulette, and I need us to get this if we don't get anything else. Things happen. Can we quit looking at maybe what other people have done, but let's kind of take a look at some of the things we've done. We haven't been perfect husbands and wives. We haven't been perfect parents, and many of us operated and did things within the realm of our own limited understanding. We may not, Rita had the people in our lives who could pour into us what we needed, and so we operated off of or where we were at. Okay, Lady Harrison is on with us on tonight. Good to have her here. And in the midst of this, we sometimes unconsciously bring issues into other people's lives. And in the midst of bringing those issues into other people's lives, we actually, and I know this is going to be a tough pill to swallow, but we actually, Lisa, we can actually cripple people and not know it. Behavior is a powerful thing. That's why the same mind ought to be in us that is in Christ Jesus. But you do know that people can catch you out your mind. People can catch you, Eloise and Matt. People can catch you off guard, Virginia. People can catch you when you least expect it. Because the worst thing that can ever happen to you is for somebody to roll up on you and you don't really know what their behavior is because they have been so much a part of your life. And this is the thing that we got to recognize and understand. And so I'm going to look at somebody on tonight. I'm going to look at somebody, and I pray that as I look at this person, and Denise, as I share with you, my prayer is that you will be able to understand some of the things that have crippled us, and how we possibly could have crippled other people. I want to look at somebody. His name is Mephibosheth. Now, many of us, Cecile, many of us hear the story of Mephibosheth, and we look at the fact that the nurse dropped him and all of that kind of stuff. But I want to deal with something that I think is going to help us to understand Mephibosheth's life just a little more clearly, other than the fact that he fell. Okay? Because everybody gets to that point, and then everybody wants to get to what David did. But we got to go back in order for us to understand, Mary, really what's going on in Mephibosheth's life. The process of pain that was getting ready to come into his life started before he was born. Y'all got to understand something. Saul is Mephibosheth's grandfather, and Jonathan is Mephibosheth's dad or father. Now we got to look at this. We got to look at this, and I'm going to work through this the best way that I know how to help us to see this. You have to remember that Saul became jealous of David. Okay? Became jealous of David, Minister Faye, because, oh, Jesus, Lord, yeah, Saul became envious of the praise that was being given to David and not to him. See, I said I wasn't going to deal with that. I said I wasn't going to do that. Larry, how you doing, man? We need to keep Larry Banks in prayer. This is a side note for just a second. He found out last night that his son was killed brutally, and we need to keep Larry in prayer. Larry, I saw the newscast about what else this maniac did in in another part of Pennsylvania. So, man, you hang in there. And that reason why I'm telling everybody is so that we can be in prayer with you. Because I need people to understand something. You might be all right now. You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. And so, Larry, I hope you didn't get upset by me saying this, but I need the saints to pray for you, to pray you through this moment. Katrina, good to see you. Minister Avery, good to see you on this evening. So let me go back to where I am. And you can put it in the chat that y'all praying for him. I don't have no problem with that. He needs to know that he's not standing in this thing by himself. So let's go back. Let's go back, Maria, to the issue. The issue is many times we can't stand to hear other people's names more than ours. Oh, help me to teach this. I know y'all gonna get bent out of shape. A couple of y'all gonna get towed up behind this. And see, what happens is, rather than us recognizing that when God exalts somebody, when God elevates somebody, all right, you need to understand that as that elevation takes place, that elevation could possibly be an opportunity for you to ride on that coattail. I wish, Barbara, I wish I had a couple. There you go, Larry. We just want you to know you're not by yourself, man. Listen. And this is what gets people bent out of shape, is an envious spirit. Robin, an envious spirit can cause you to lose perspective, can cause you to lose ambition, and can also cause you to lose your destiny. Sylvia Scott, this is what you got to remember, Gladys. This is important. This is important, ladies and gentlemen. This is important. Here's what happened. Saul becomes envious of the praise that is coming from the lips of the women, and the women ain't praising him. Oh, they had a song. Saul has killed his thousands, but David has killed his tens of thousands. Paulette, and here's the problem. Here's the problem, Doris. In the midst of all of this, David is so faithful to the position, oh God, until when opportunity comes for him to assassinate Saul, he refuses to do it because he honors the seat that Saul is in. Jesus, help me. Lord, help me to teach this thing like you gave it to me, Lord. Here's what we have to understand. And here is the shortcoming of a whole lot of people. And I pray that y'all don't take this like real personal. And if it is you, just say, ouch, Lord, help me to move on. If someone else, and this is going to mess some of y'all up, Catherine, when someone else is being praised more than you, that person has now become a bigger target than you. Oh, y'all can't y'all Barbara Foods, y'all can't handle what I just said. Yeah, while you are so busy wanting to be where they are, you fail to understand that where they are, you can't be. Jesus, if you ain't never helped me to teach before, can you help me do it now? You're not ready for that level of exposure. You're not ready for that level of attack. You're not ready to deal with what happened. You know, people get bent out of shape over the TD Jakeses and the Creflo Dollars, and you know, everybody got a whole lot to say about a whole lot of people and everything people doing and all of that kind of stuff. My question is, I doubt seriously that where you are, you could fill their shoes without losing your mind. Why? It is the experiences, the trial, the fiery trials that have tampered and have brought them to a point whereby whereby they are able to deal with issues you can't. Some folk can't handle 10 people in the church, no less 10,000. And can I tell you something else? 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 The grass always looks greener on the other side until you get to the other side. And so what they fail to understand is David is not king. Now he's been anointed to be the next king, but the seat is still filled. Ooh, ooh. How many of us, Kimberly, how many of us can honor Marcus? How many of us can honor someone in the seat they are in, though we know we're next in line, and we don't try to push them out of the way so we can get there ahead of time? Because, see, it's a dangerous thing to want to sit in somebody else's seat, and you don't know what it takes, Juanita, to sit there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. People get mad. They get upset. They get bent out of shape. They go through all kind of changes because they think. And I tell this to my associate ministers all the time. I said, don't think that this thing is easy, because when you're looking from a peripheral point of view, you think pastoring is a piece of cake. But many can't even handle the little bit of criticism that they go through, no less the major criticism that takes place because of the position that that person is in. Do I have any help here, Lisa? I need us to catch this and to understand this unequivocally. It's easy to be critical when the responsibility ain't yours. It's easy to be judgmental when you're not in a seat of accountability. It's easy to talk about what should take place when you ain't accountable to nobody but yourself. Here's the power of David. Though David could have killed Saul, he chose not to, because he honored the seat. Oh, bless his holy name. And so, in the midst of this, Jonathan becomes the go-between between Saul and David. Now, y'all know this has to be some real love, Doris, for your own son to decide that his position with his friend is closer than his position with his biological father. Juanita, you need to talk to me. You need to talk to me. And I know there's a few folk that's real quiet right now, Lady Brown, because they have aspired for things that they're not ready for, and they get upset with those who are there because they feel they can do a better job. But what you have to remember is David honored Saul's position because he understood clearly that if he intervened, then the will of God would be altered, not just in Saul's life, but in David's as well. Lady Brown, I'm gonna put this out here. Hey, Cynthia, how are you? There's a whole lot of folk want to be mayor of anything and ain't managed what they in right now. Oh, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it the way it need to be said. It's real easy to be critical on the outside. It's another thing when the mantle is passed off to you, and every move, message, and thing that is done now falls on your plate. Kim, I want y'all to catch this. David said, though I have been anointed, I have not yet been appointed. Oh, glory to God. Herma, did you catch what I said? Janet, did you catch what I said? Pat, did you catch what I said? Kim, did you catch what I said? Did y'all catch what I'm saying? And so here's what happens. Are y'all ready for this? Because David understood to stay in his place. And David's son knew that his daddy was out of control, went to David. And when Jonathan went to David, he said, listen, if something happens to me, that's right, if something happens to me, I want you to be kind to my family. Now, somebody might say, well, what difference does it make? You got to understand ancient history in order for you to catch where I'm coming from. Okay? It was in that culture that when a king took the seat of kingship, are y'all with me? The new king would kill all of the previous king's family and warriors who did not pledge their undying faithfulness to the new king. I wish I had you know, I'm getting stuck on this. I wish that I could get y'all to understand and recognize something. Jonathan knew that his dad's hatred of David would be detrimental. And he also knew that once David ascended to the throne, Carol, that he by right could annihilate the entire family. So he says to David, remember my family. Be kind to my family. And David violates the ancient tradition of annihilating the previous king's family and says that when I sit on this throne, even in your absence, I'm going to keep my word and remember your family. Ooh. See, this, oh, bless his name. How much time I got? This is the reason why your word, Minister Michael, ought to have some credibility. Ayana, are y'all catching what I'm saying? My daddy used to say, your word is your bond. If your word ain't no good, the man ain't no good. How many times have you, what grandmama called, willfully lied? You knew it was a lie when it came out of your mouth, but you did it anyway because you knew you had no intention whatsoever of keeping your word. But now, we got to add a little insult to injury, because Jonathan was killed in battle. And with him being killed in battle, Saul sees that they have lost the battle, and he falls on his sword and kills himself. I'm getting ready to get deep. Y'all want me to go a little deeper? Do y'all want me to go just a little bit deeper with this? Can I go just a little bit deeper with this? Some of us may be suffering because of somebody else's sin. Kelly, some of us might be going through what we're going through because of what somebody else did to us. Perhaps you are reaping the consequences of someone else's infidelity. Or maybe you may be reaping the repercussions of somebody else's drug abuse or addiction or anger or lust or fear or whatever the case may be. You, because of the actions of somebody else, you are now reaping what they have sown. How many, oh God, oh God, oh God. How many of us have lived beneath our privilege because someone told us we didn't deserve it anyway? How many of us have heard people say your daddy wasn't no good, your mama wasn't no good, you ain't no good? How many of us have heard other people talk about how stupid and dumb and ugly and black and yellow we are? Okay, y'all ain't ready for this kind of teaching on tonight. Y'all not ready. Y'all not ready. So put your seatbelt on, because I'm getting ready to go just a little bit front. How many of us was told that our heads was nappy, our noses were too big, and our lips were too thick? How many of us were told that we never were going to amount to anything as long as we live? And unbeknownst to us, because it happened at such a young age, we limped through life not realizing who crippled us. When we looked in the mirror, we did not see God's creation. We saw what other folks said. There was something I saw on Facebook. It was something, and it really struck me, about Whoopi Goldberg. I believe it says, and don't quote me if I don't say it exactly right. It said that Whoopi Goldberg wasn't ugly. It's what other people said she was. How many of us, oh God, how many of us are trying to prove to other people that we are worthy of their affection, that we are worthy of their attention, that we are worthy of their time, only because somebody else told us that we wasn't about nothing? Somebody else told us, Carol, that we weren't going anywhere. I just want to see if y'all ready for this. How much life have we wasted trying to prove to other people we are not what we heard somebody else say about us? And for many of us, we don't achieve it, Tracy. And we limp through life, and then, okay, I know y'all ain't ready for this, we cripple our children. Can I get a witness? I know I'm borrowing this off of somebody else. Can I get, I need us to get this. And then we live angry. We live mad at everybody. We go off on people because what we hear when someone says something to us is not what they said. But when somebody challenges us, like in our intellect or anything like that, we don't hear that they are just asking a question. We hear them attacking your intellect because somebody else called you stupid. And Marcus, the reason we try to impress other people is because someone in the younger years of our lives have told us that we can't impress anybody. So what do? We go overboard. We do stuff with our hair. We do stuff with our lips. We do stuff with our bodies. We do stuff with our, and there's nothing wrong with your lips and your hair, and there's nothing wrong with looking good. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it is when you are doing it to try to overcompensate what somebody else told you, who may be dead, or may have said something to you in your younger developing years, and now you are living crippled in ministry. Oh, bless his name. Here's the thing that has to be seen here. Mephibosheth is now, that's right, Mephibosheth is 5 years old. He's 5 years old. Ultimately, the Philistines kill Jonathan, they kill the sons, and then Saul kills himself. Why? Because fear controlled him. It's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing when you're living life out of fear. And in the midst of this, oh, bless his name, he kills himself. Death falls on Saul's family. Let me see how much time okay, I got a couple more minutes left. Death falls on Saul's family. When the family of Saul hears that Saul is dead and that David is getting ready to take over as king, because of the culture, Lavonda, at that particular time, they believed, because they were not a part of the covenant. Jesus, help me. See, when you, Cora, don't know the covenant, when you don't know the covenant that exists between people, you react off of the information that you have, though the information that you have is not accurate right now. The nurse, who probably was trustworthy, picks Mephibosheth up and runs because she's trying to save his life, because in her mind, Mayor, in her mind, they gonna die. And I'm trying to save the last heir of Saul. As she runs with this 5-year-old, she drops him. Did she mean to do it? No. Have y'all ever, and it drives me insane. Have you ever watched them movies where folks start running and every time you turn around, somebody got to fall? Are y'all catching this? They could be on flat ground. They ain't got to be going through no weeds, no bushes, or nothing else. The next thing you know, they just flat out fall. And either they get caught or captured, or somebody has to come back to pick them up. Okay? And so, because of that, now the predator has a better chance of catching them. Here's the problem. She's dropped him. And the text says that he's crippled now in both his feet. It's not that it's not that he's only lame in one foot. Now he has to be carried everywhere that he goes, because his ability to care for himself has been taken away. Let's talk about this for just a second. How many of us are still being carried because of someone else crippling us? Can I let that marinate for just a moment? Can I let that sink in for just a moment? Can I let that happen? How many of us are no longer able to walk because of an incident that has happened with somebody else. Let's look at something. Eventually, David becomes the king of Israel. It's customary for the ancient Near East kings to kill all the surviving relatives of the former king. This is most likely going to induce fear in Mephibosheth's nurse, which caused her to become frantic. Have you ever, can I ask y'all a question? Have you ever did something stupid out of fear? Maria, Pat, have you ever made a mistake out of fear? Have you ever made a decision out of fear? Iris, have you ever moved in a direction out of fear rather than fact? And then we sing those songs. There is no failure until fear shows up. There's not a battle God can't win until fear shows up. God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask or think until fear shows up. Fear, Mayor, will cause you to make decisions that you will regret the rest of your life. Fear of the unknown. Fear of moving forward. Fear to quit being complacent. Well, let's talk about something else, then I'm going to let y'all go. Don, I want you to catch this if you don't catch anything else. So the family status, which at one time was perceived to be stable, has now been subjugated to change. Mephibosheth's nurse seemed to be trustworthy and committed to his welfare, but in the midst of her hasty retreat, nothing happened to her legs, but something happened to his. Sometimes, okay, here we go, Minister Rhonda, sometimes the people we depend on may be the very ones who unintentionally or intentionally let us down. And while we are busy talking about the people that crippled us, can I ask the question, are there any people you crippled? Are there any people you let down? Are there any people you lied to? What drives me crazy, Mayor, is when people always want to talk about what other folk done did to them, but they never talk about what they've done to others. Are y'all with me? Unfortunately, we are crippled because other people have let us down. We have lost sight of the sovereignty of God, Roberta. We don't see that God is in the midst of this because now comes the trauma. Now comes the time that we have to learn how to forgive. Okay, here it is. Well, I'll forgive, but I ain't never gonna forget. Then you ain't never forgave. Are y'all with me? I just want to know if y'all are with me. I'm not saying that forgiving people causes the incident to be totally erased from your mind. When you have forgiven someone, they no longer control your behavior. Okay, here we go. I ain't got to be phony. If I've forgiven you, that's the end of the conversation. I'm going on about my business because life is too short for me to allow you to control me when I've done what the Bible has told me to do. Oh, bless his name. Okay? Are y'all with me so far? In the midst of this, no matter what their intention was, You've got to be able to forgive, because forgiveness is the key that will enable you to have proficient functionality in the body of Christ. You have to remember how God works everything out for our good. Myrna, it might not feel good. It might not look good. I may not want to be bothered with it. It may have crushed me. But God has an intentional outcome. I'm going to ask this question because some of y'all ain't saying nothing. I want to know if I'm teaching this lesson. That's what I want to know. Are y'all getting, Mayor, forgive and keep it moving. I'm not going to sit back and wonder whether you have accepted it. I'm not going to sit back and wait on you to turn around and say, yeah, no, you ain't got to say no. As long as I have done what the Bible says, I'm free. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Are y'all ready for this? Are y'all really ready for this? You'll never know what real freedom is until you free up other people from controlling you. Yeah. Because as long as you live in unforgiveness toward any other person, that person, dead or alive, will control you. They will control your behavior. They will control your actions. They will control your destiny. They will control your outlook. They will control your aspirations. Dead or alive. And I'm going to tell you something right now. And it took me a while to get here, because this didn't happen overnight. It took me a while to get here. When you have released, oh God, then you are no longer living in fear, because of Mephibosheth's nurse, he now has a physical limp. But can I go a little bit further with this? Can I go just a little bit further with this? But God, are y'all ready? But God allowed him to have that limp so that he could radically change the rest of Mephibosheth's life. Are y'all getting this? Now I'm done. I'm done for tonight, because when we come together next week, I'm going to show you how the enemy turned David against crippled people. Oh, y'all not ready for me. Y'all not ready for me. So what the enemy was trying to do was create a hatred in David that would reverse the word and the covenant that was made between David and Jonathan, though Jonathan is now dead. My prayer is that you were blessed tonight. My prayer is that through this lesson, God has shown you something that you have never seen before. Through this experience that we've had tonight, God has spoke to you, Pat, clearly and succinctly, so that we will no longer live where we have been lived. Now, let me help you. Choice is yours. I can't make you see anything different. I can't make anything change in your life. That change comes from you not allowing other people to control your destiny. It comes from you being able to let things go instead of holding on to stuff. People ask me stuff all the time. Well, what do you think about that? So what am I supposed to think? How do you feel about them? What am I supposed to feel? I'm not going to let people control me. I'm not going to let people control the move of God in and through my life. I'm just not going to do it. I've come too far for me to go backward. And so my question is, you ready to move up? You ready for God to show you his power, his strength, and his ability? Are you really, really ready to see God work in your life, the miraculous works that he's been wanting to do for a long time? Thank y'all. I pray that it was a blessing. Thank you. Thank you. And I know sometimes that may sound like I'm being self-centered, but no, I want to know, because if you didn't get anything out of it, you got a right to tell me that too. I'm not going to, my feelings won't be hurt. It just enables me to be an effective teacher. That's what it does. And how do I know that the teaching is effective? When behavior is changed. And I'm not talking about behavior that shows up on Wednesday and Sunday. I'm talking about behavior that changes, that causes your family members and your friends to go, what in the world has gotten a hold of you? And can I tell you what you can tell them? Are y'all ready for this? Now, don't tell nobody else I told you this. Don't tell nobody else I told you that. Just tell them I'm free. Just tell them I'm free. I'm free. It's not just a song. I'm free. Thank you for sharing with me on tonight. If you so choose, if tonight is your night to give your tithes and offering, and tonight is your night to be a blessing to the ministry, the information is right there. You can give to the Union Baptist Church, 528 Lincoln Avenue. You can do it through Givelify. You can do that. You can do it through Cash App, $Union 528. You can call 330-746-1217. You can go to the website, Union's website. You can give, follow those instructions. You can go to Union's Facebook page. You'll be able to give that way. You can call 330-746-1217. You can give over the phone. You can give through check. Make it out to Union Baptist Church. Mail it out to 528 Union Baptist Avenue, Youngstown, Ohio, 44502. Or if you live in the Youngstown area, you can write that check out and put it in the mailbox, and we will be good stewards of the seed that you sow, so that this ministry can continue to grow and continue to flourish. Please be safe. Social distance. Sanitize. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. And even though some of the numbers are dropping, don't be deceived. We still have a deadly virus that's still taking people out of here. Listen, love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. Thank you for being a part of this learning experience on tonight. And I pray that you will be better, stronger, and more powerful because of the encounter that we have had tonight. Rest well, my brothers. Rest well, my sisters. It is my prayer that may God bless you and he keep you until we meet again. Don't forget, 10 a.m. Sunday morning, we'll be streaming live, and we'll share with you the word that God has given us. Take care now. Check up on one another. Make sure everybody is all right.